Dirtle Magic. Thank you for tuning in to Dirtle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and dirtle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Dirtle Magic. Today we're playing some more Mila Crafty Companion / Luca Wayward Bonder. Looking at our opening hand, we do have 2 lands and a mana rock. Unfortunately, one of our lands is Temple of the False God, so it's probably not going to cut it here. New hand, lands, Soul Ring. We have Magus of the Wheel as follow-up, Chandra Fire Artisan. Yeah, I think we can keep this. Our commander front side, 1 white for a legendary 2/3 Fox. Whenever an opponent attacks one or more planeswalkers we control, we put a loyalty counter on each planeswalker we control. And whenever a permanent we control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, we may draw a card. Backside, 4 red for a legendary planeswalker Luca, 5 loyalty to start. +1, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. If it's a creature card discarded this way, draw 2 cards instead. -2, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, exiled at the beginning of the next end step. And -7, you get an emblem with, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Very similar to Warstorm Surge, as a matter of fact, probably the same wording. Our first opponent with a Mountain and Soul Ring into play is Firesong and Sunspeaker. 4 red for a legendary 4/6 Minotaur Cleric. Red instant and sorcery spells you can draw with lifelink, and whenever a white instant or sorcery spell causes you to gain life, this deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Our next opponent with Forgotten Cave in play is Zurzoth Chaos Rider. 2 red for a legendary 2/3 Devil. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you create a 1/1 red devil creature token with. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And whenever one or more devils you control attack with 1 or more players, you and those players each draw a card and then discard a card at random. Comes to our turn, let's get down the Snarl and the Soul Ring. And we'll pass it off there. Our last opponent had an Island and Mana Vault into play, and they are Bruvac the Grandiloquent. 2 blue for a legendary 1/4 Human Advisor. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many cards instead. The last time I saw this commander, it didn't trigger correctly, and I milled many more cards than I was supposed to, so we'll see how this goes. Firesong and Sunspeaker into play on turn 2. They played a Mana Crypt earlier, I do list the games as casual, Soul Ring notwithstanding, since it's kind of ubiquitous, but a Mana Crypt and a Mana Vault into play. I think Zurzoth might be a little bit behind here. On the bright side, we also have Gisela Blade of Gold Knight in our hand. Zurzoth with a Fire Diamond into play. Over to Bruvac's turn. Mana Vault will trigger for the first time this game. They may pay forward to untap it, but it is not currently tapped. It's Trinket Mage. Let's see what they'll search for. Artifact with mana value 1 or less. I assume at this point it'll probably be a Soul Ring. Could also be a Mana Crypt, I suppose. It's a Soul Ring, and that's coming into play for Bruvac. Burl, Chief of Compliance into play. Uh-oh. Instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast, and whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. To our turn, we get Path to Exile. That'll be good later. I do worry about Bruvac and Firesong and Sunspeaker being down so early with threats. It's not the best. Let's go ahead and get down our commander for now, see how things develop. And pass it off. We are losing a colorless mana. To Firesong and Sunspeaker, Bonk Crypt. We know what it does by now. So as far as Bruvac's concerned, I'm worried it's going to be mill control, which frankly is a good strategy. But while we have a Soul Ring, everybody else has Crypts and Vaults. Zurzoth might come in from behind and nab this victory, but we'll have to see if they don't quit first. Things are a little out of hand. Light of Sanction, that'll be very good for him. Prevents all damage dealt to their stuff by sources they control. Wheel of Misfortune already, huh? That's unfortunate. Did really want that Path to Exile. Gisela would have been great too. So the problem with Wheel of Fortune right now is it deals damage, which means they'll gain that much life, so they can pay any amount of life they want, potentially killing another player. It is supposed to be secret. Unfortunately, if you see here, it says the chosen number is 10, which it doesn't really make it secret, does it? But it's supposed to be secret, so if they deal that much damage, they'll gain that much life, negating anything that happens. So as long as we do 10, we'll get to draw new cards too. We could also pay 0 and keep the cards we have in hand, which may be better for us with Giselle on the battlefield, because then they have to do 10 damage to it to get it dead. So I think we'll choose 0. We are still at 40. Sarah Avatar, when it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, shuffle it into its owner's library. Otherwise, the only other card they had in their hand at the time was Volkut the Molten Pinnacle. Everybody else has 7 cards in hand. We did not take the bait there, so we are at 6. Firesong on the attack. It's off into Bruvac. That's fine with me. So let's see what else got discarded. Blasphemous Act, Coalition Relic, Grimoire. That's really good in Zurzoth. If you haven't checked out that series on the channel, go ahead and do that. Grimoire is super good. Damage is good against Bruvac. They're down to 36, up to 4 commander. For Bruvac stuff, let's see. Tezzeret, Foot of Tears, Fleet Swallower, Sosa Mill, and Spellseeker. Spellseeker is a really good card. Needs a reprint. Porphyros, God of the Forge for Zurzoth. Ooh, we are being outraced everywhere, and they didn't even need fast mana to do it. Over to Bruvac. Let's go ahead and see if they untap the Mana Vault. It looks like they are. Mind Stone coming down for the Bruvac player. Followed by Sapphire Medallion. Followed by Sentinel Totem. Here's the Battlefield Scry. What else does it do? Exile all cards from all graveyards. Yeah, that's pretty good follow-up. So, yeah, we'll have to wheel with the Magus at a point we really desire. Problem being, it also refills the hand of the Bruvac player and the Firesong player, so not the best. Could just put it up and have people play into it, hopefully. Kind of bait out their hand and have them overextend, and then not do anything with it. Comes our turn, we get the Wanderer. You don't say. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead, play Snow-Covered Plains, and get her down. And we'll pass it there. Do we want to exile Firesong and Sunspeaker? Yeah, I think we do. Let's go ahead and do it. Now let's pass it off. Over to Firesong and Sunspeaker. Mana Crypt does the trigger. They win the flip, still at 40. Let's see if they recast their commander. Nope, it's Alhammerit's Archive. Double the life gain, double the card draw. Faithless Looting for the Firesong and Sunspeaker player. So that'll be 4 cards drawn, discard 2 cards. There goes Sarah Avatar again. Also, Mark of Asylum into the graveyard. Throw of Possibility, more cards getting drawn. Let's see, Monologue Tax, that's a new one. And, yep, that's it. So, draw 4 cards on top of that. They're up to 9 in hand. Mana's gone, though. Do the cleanup, let's see what they discard. They discard Planar Birth. Return all basic land cards from graveyards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. I don't like seeing that in the deck. That could mean mass land destruction. Dangerous Wager as well. Alright. Zurzoth Chaos Rider coming down for that player on their turn. We will also take 2 damage from Porphyros. Over to Bruvac. Let's see if they'll untap the vault this time. Okay, they do not untap it. Yep, land into play. So 6, 7 mana. Wayfarer's Bauble coming down. Also needs a reprint. Bauble gets the crack. Merchant Scroll, tutor up an instant card. It's Factor Fiction. We have some attacks. Let's see where they're going. Both off in the Firesong and Sunspeaker. That works for me. Damage is good. Firesong down to 35. Fellwar Stone in the second main phase for Bruvac. They do have 1 mana up. Could be a negate because of the Sapphire Medallion. We'll have to keep an eye out. To our turn, Snow-Covered Mountain. Let's go ahead and play one. And we'll get down Chandra, see if we have anything on the top of the deck. Although at this point, I'm a bit leery of exiling the top card, so we'll probably just leave her be for now. Over to Firesong again. Bonk trigger, will it happen? It does, they're down to 32. We have Treasonous Ogre. That's going to be a lot of mana, and Path to Exile really doesn't help against that. That is a sad face. Could be a Bright Flame? They did stop paying for mana. Oh, it's Mana Geyser. That's worse. We have Factor Fiction out of the Bruvac player. That's unfortunate. Was hoping for a counter spell, but whatever works. Oh, and Reverberate out of that. So the Firesong and Sunspeaker player get their own Factor Fiction. Oh, I'm sorry. They did not copy Factor Fiction. It was Mana Geyser. That's going to be a lot of mana. Hopefully, nothing to put it into, but we could be dying here. Okay, we get to arrange stuff. Nice. Let's do it like so. Reason being, I want them to get Traumatized or Psych Rift, and I don't want them to be able to recur Psych Rift necessarily right off the bat and have access to that. So let's see what they chose. Alright, they put Psych Rift into the graveyard. That means they're keeping Traumatize. I mean, that is a potential win condition for them. So let's see if we survive whatever Firesong's doing. Firesong and Sunspeaker coming back down for that player. We can path it in response so at least they don't gain all the life back. Pyromancer's Goggles coming down. They'll copy whatever they cast. Stuffy Doll. That's a good way to get around defenses. The chosen player is the Bruvac player, so we don't have to worry about that just yet. And then we have a Blasphemous Act. So yeah, I don't want them to have lifelink on that. That's not my favorite. Let's go ahead and path their commander. Path exiles them. They get to go get a basic land card. And no lifelink on Blasphemous Act. That would have been amazing, but not for us. Blasphemous Act is copied with the Pyromancer's Goggles, by the way, so it will be copied. That is 26 damage to each creature. Our creature is completely fine thanks to the Wanderer. Theirs are completely fine thanks to the Light of Sanction. That's it for Firesong. Over to Zurzoth. Sad Robot coming down for Zurzoth. We have a couple of triggers. They'll get a basic land card, and we get smacked for 2 in the face. Over to Bruvac's turn. Did forget to mention they are down to 31. Looks like they're untapping the Mana Vault this turn. Indeed they are. That'll be 5 cards in hand after the draw. Let's see what they do with it. They have yet to summon their commander, and we know they have Traumatized. It's Bruvac, the Grandiloquent. Followed by Traumatized, targeting the Firesong and Sunspeaker player. So they should have the library rounded down. If it's an odd number, nope. They immediately went to 0. They will lose on the draw step. Mystic Sanctuary back into play. Traumatized coming back. Propaganda. Can't attack them unless they pay 2. Comes to our turn, we get Thalia's Lancers. Is there something in this deck that could help us? Right now, I don't think so, because they have Traumatized in hand. We could die on the next turn, or at least the next turn after that. And our Planeswalkers tend to be 4 and up on CMC. But let's play a Mountain. Unfortunately, we also don't have anything to give Magus of the Wheel haste. Let's exile the top card with Chandra. It's a Mountain. Alright, it can be played this turn, but we did already play a land. I think our best chance here is get down the Magus. And then, if we can wheel, we will. But it's probably paying a target on our face. Giselle's Blade of Gold Knight wouldn't do anything for us, and Thalia's Lancers wouldn't either. Pass it off there, I suppose. Over to Firesong and Sunspeaker. Mana Crypt will trigger, but they have no cards in the library. And there they go, good game to our opponent. Unfortunately, Bruvac and Traumatize are usually a one-hit kill. Over to Zurzoth, let's see if they have anything for it. Unfortunately, I did take all the counterspells out of the initial incarnation of this deck. Too bad. A red elemental blast would work wonders right now, but it's always a case-by-case basis. Thrawn Dynamo coming down for the Zurzoth player. Myriad Landscape gets the crack. Gary Sanitarium, each player draws a card, then discards a card. We could get some removal. Don't think we're going to get anything at instant speed, though, unless we get Swords to Plowshares. Or Generous Gift. That will work. Let's get rid of the Lancers. Over to Bruvac's turn. Mana Vault does the triggering. I don't think they'll need to untap it to do Traumatize, rather. So, yep, just hold up that Generous Gift, kill Bruvac, keep one of us in the game anyway. Oh, they are going to untap the Mana Vault, though. Okay. Traumatize targeting Zurzoth. Okay. We will not respond. I do want to save it for saving our bacon. Zurzoth down to 1 card in library. It is rounded down, so as long as it's odd, they will not be completely milled out. So, lots of stuff in there. Obviously not an Eldrazi, which is, in this case, kind of sad, I suppose. Just to confirm, Traumatize did go to the graveyard. They could probably recur it, though. I think we start swinging at them and just see what happens. Comes our turn, Myriad Landscape. Let's go ahead and put it into play. And then we will exile the top card with Chandra. It's Search for Glory. So, basically, we get a Legendary card, Saga, or a Snow Permanent. Yeah, we can cast that. Let's go ahead and get Ugin the Ineffable. We do have to get rid of that enchantment. We also have to keep up some mana. Unfortunately, nothing to exile, so let's just pass it off. Over to Zurzoth, 0 cards in the deck, 5 cards in hand. Let's see what they're going to do at the last turn. They could potentially just take themselves out with a Gear Reach Sanitarium activation or Mikokoro. Chandra Ablaze. Okay. So, I do like this Planeswalker. I was considering it for this deck, but it does have to discard a red card. And we also get to possibly wheel, which could be okay. I don't think that's the best option to do right now, especially because they'd lose. They are discarding a card. If it's red, deals 4 damage to any target. We have High Tide. Okay, so until undetermined, whenever a player taps an on for mana, they add double. I'm not seeing how that works out, but I've not seen things before. 4 damage to Bruvac, it goes down. Molten Psyche is the card discarded. We have Zurzoth Chaos Rider coming down. Porphyros slaps us around a little bit more. We're going to go down to 39. Bruvac down to 29. We have an attack with Sad Robot off into us. That's a sad face. We could block it and kill them. I guess that's the thing. I guess we'll be doing that. Kind of feels bad, though. So let's go ahead and use the Magus, I suppose. It is a May trigger, so they won't necessarily lose the game right here. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Sad Robot down. Let's see if they decide to draw a card. And they do. At least they went out on their own terms. Alright, 1v1. Kind of a Kingmaker scenario. Sometimes it happens that way. But Bruvac will have 2 cards in hand plus their commander when it rolls back to them, so they're still in the game. Plenty of support structure, too. At this point, though, I think we'll wait to see what they do, keep up Generous Gift, and blast the Propaganda if nothing too bad happens. Land into play, down to 1 card in hand. To the end step, let's go ahead and give them a 3/3 beast. Sorry, an elephant, my mistake. You'd think I'd know that. Elephant on the artwork. Comes our turn, we get Renee, God of the Worthy, plus the shield. The shield can be very nice. Let's go ahead and crack the Myriad Landscape. And then, we'll get down Redain. Her front side does say non-creature spells opponents cast with mana value 4 or greater cost 2 more to cast. Could buy us some time. Let's get down to Snow-Covered Plains. And another one. And just to make sure we go through all the motions, exile the top card, see if there's anything otherwise we can cast. It's Chancellor of the Annex. That's a bit of a sad face. Would love to cast that. Unfortunately, we cannot. Let's cast Rain, God of the Worthy. And let's go to attacks. We'll attack with the Magus. I'm absolutely fine if they trade with it. I'm not worried about that. There it is, a block with the elephant. Okay, and we'll pass it off there. Magus down. So now they don't have to worry about us wheeling. End of turn, looks like we have a response. Mind Stone for a card. Nothing more out of Bruvac this turn. To our turn, Clifftop Retreat. And then, of course, Chandra. Let's look at the top card. See what we see. Command Beacon. Unfortunately, not something we can use right now. Let's see if they have the counter magic for Giselle, Blade of Gold Knight. They do not. Let's get attacking. They could also have Aetherize or something like that to defend themselves against attackers. Or even possibly a Reigns of Power, which would not be my favorite. Damage is good. They take 8 down to 21. Let's pass it off. Nothing out of Bruvac again. Going to roll over to us. They do have 3 cards in hand. Again, blue being instant speed isn't my favorite. We get a T protection. That'll be nice. Pretty expensive card, but it's one of the few things that will protect a field of planeswalkers. Let's do what we always do every turn. Exile the top card. Get some options going. It's Arcane Signet. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and cast that. And then cast Ugin. Have just enough up for T protection. And we'll go ahead and make a Spirit token. Spoke too soon. We have some counter magic. That's fine. Let's go to combat and whack some faces here. First strike combat damage there, down to 11. They will take 8 more and go down to 3. There it is. Up to 8 commander damage. Let's pass it off. Expedition Map into play. They can crack it to get any land out of their deck. 2 cards in hand otherwise. There goes the crack. Okay, so let's see what they're getting. At least it's not Mystic Sanctuary. But I am somewhat concerned. It is Talaria West. So that has Transmute, and you transmute for 0 by paying 1 blue. That could possibly be something like Pact of Negation or something similar. Don't know that's going to help them necessarily, so let's see what they get. They do have to reveal it, though, because it is a specific value. It is Pact of Negation. So, a counterspell at the beginning of their... Oh, they give it up. Okay. Good game to our opponent. Was getting scary there for a minute, but good thing Firesong and Sunspeaker and Bruvac just kind of went at each other. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Bruvac. They really were just trying to get back into the game there, stay in it, so I'm going to give them kudos. And there it is, 4 points off into us, 1 for the Bruvac player. Nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. Alright, here's the deck. Our main win conditions here are, of course, our Planeswalkers, especially Sarkhan the Masterless, or even just keeping the board clear, trying to with Elspeth Sun's Champion. Otherwise, board wipes protect our Planeswalkers, again with Gideon or the Masterless. and just go to town. In this particular game, we had Giselle, Blade of Gold Knight, help us finish off our opponent. As for extra card draw, we have Mages of the Wheel, and we also have Wheel of Misfortune, which, again, they really need to fix, because it's supposed to be secret. You choose a number, and it shows you the chosen number. So you are guaranteed to get what you want out of it. As long as you're not the lowest number, you take no damage and get a new hand. If you're the highest number, you take damage and get that hand on the Bing. If you're the lowest number, you take no damage and get no hand. So really easy to manipulate, and we did take advantage of that because it was information we had at the time. I don't feel like it's cheating, but they really should fix that so the card works as at least as I think it's intended. This game, we saw the front side of everything come down. Don't know if that saved us from anything, but having that second, or I guess the fourth ability technically, non-creature spells your opponent's cast with mana value 4 or greater, cost 2 more to cast, potentially saved us from some milling effects. We don't really know, and the opponent really didn't say anything. The more I go along, the more I really like this card. At first, I wasn't too keen on the front side, and to be fair, Snowlands airing the battlefield tapped usually doesn't happen still, even with all the Snowlands, but I'm really liking this card the more I play with it. The other removal I did add is Doomscar, just because we can exile it with Foretell and then cast it for the Foretell cost. So we can just have that looming over our opponent's head in case they want to commit to the board, maybe buying us some time, or having them overextend, forgetting about, and blowing up the board. Never got to test it out. If you have, you can let me know in the comments if you think it's a good include. Alright, if you want to check out the deck in its entirety, deck list link in the description below. Let me know what you think about it. Also, there will be a deck tech coming in the next few days after this video. Things have been a little bit hectic. I thank you for your patience, but we are eventually going to be moving on to Modern Horizons 2, which is releasing about June 2nd. There's going to be maintenance for Magic Online for it, so really hoping to get in on some of those new commanders. A lot of sweet cards in the set. So far, at the time of this recording, not everything has been spoiled. Pretty good green stuff, of course, always the green stuff. Looking forward to some of the cooler white stuff. I'm waiting for the red elemental incarnations. I always thought they should be elementals. My Omnath deck, I hope, will be very happy. But in either case, if you haven't seen the spoilers and you want to, go ahead and check them out. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you for the next series.